Hey, this is Carlos Cavallo from datingadviceguru.com with more secrets to unlock his heart, to unlock that combo to the vault of his emotions. Today, I'm going to tell you about 7.5 ways to flirt with a guy. Yes, the 0.5 is actually relevant. See, most women, especially the ones I've helped, tend to approach flirting from the wrong direction. And I've noticed that, well, they put a little too much pressure on themselves to succeed, that flirting has to be the success-oriented endeavor, and that could be the biggest problem when it comes to learning how to flirt with a guy. First of all, what's the textbook definition of flirt? Well, this could come as a little bit of a shock to you, but flirting actually means to behave in a way that shows sexual attraction for someone, but is not meant to be taken seriously. Well, interesting, not seriously. And to think about something or become involved in something in a way that's usually not serious, like I flirted with the notion. And another one, yet another definition, is to come close to reaching or experiencing something, in other words, flirting with disaster. Now, if you notice, there's a lack of seriousness behind the concept of flirting, and actually that's an important thing. You gotta keep that whole serious thing out of the equation. Again, women who put too much pressure on themselves are simply missing the point. So what is the point? The point is fun. So let me give you these 7.5 tips. Tip number one is, of course, turning up the romance by talking with your body. When it comes to communication, especially the flirty kind, it's what we don't say that truly counts. We often take for granted that our body sends a ton of unspoken messages that feed into other people's subconscious. And, well, this actually makes up a huge part of the attraction game, so you need to use your body to your advantage. For example, leaning in his direction in a subtle way that tells him, hey, you can come closer, I don't bite. So when you're having dinner with him, avoid leaning too far back in your seat and giving that standoffish impression. You don't want to look disengaged and even withdrawn. How to get his attention, tip number two, is find the right stuff to talk about. Now you might think that all men talk about is football and cars and, other women or guy flicks. Okay, those topics do come up pretty frequently, but we usually discuss that with our buddies. When it comes to talking with women, well, there's an exception there. If you want to flirt, you got to connect with them on common ground. And the best way to do that is just make a humorous observation of what's already around you. This is the recipe that comedians have used for decades, probably hundreds of years, and it works. The funnier the observation, the better. If you're at a music festival, you could try telling them, yeah, you know what, I don't know, this band probably shouldn't quit their day jobs, with a hint of a smile to it. Don't do things maliciously or mean or even sarcastically, but with a little edge of trying to be a little bit fun and funny. How to flirt with him, tip number three is use your thumbs. Probably not in the way you're thinking. This day and age, man, you got to use texting. It's as natural as breathing for most people. So obviously, you're going to have to connect with your guy on some level with his phone. This is another opportunity to make things fun for both of you. A really great text you can send goes like this. Aw, look, a big bowl of popcorn and a Netflix queue, but no cute guy to share it with. I might have an opening next week, though. Applications are being taken now, or applicants are welcome. More than likely, he'll take the bait on that one. Charm strategy number four is dress for flirting success. Now, of course, having a fun-loving personality is part of flirting with a guy, but you don't have to be a total extrovert, a total life-of-the-party type. That being said, you need to ask yourself, does your wardrobe convey that you're flirting, that you're trying to put yourself out there in a way that says, hey, I'm looking to date? In my experience of dating women and being a guy and talking to other guys about wardrobe, I can tell you that men actually prefer a good balance of restraint with a little dash of naughtiness for good measure. Just find one little element to flatter about your body. It could be your butt, your boobs, your legs, whatever that part is you find sexy. Accentuate that one thing with whatever it is you're wearing. It will work, and it helps to kind of take off that edge of standoffishness that a lot of women have. Now, if you want to flirt like a pro, you got to use your eyes. That's tip number five. And it's one of the most overlooked areas for some serious flirting. You've got to be able to reach him through his eyes because, hey, that is the window to the soul, right? Check him out, but in a classy way. When you make eye contact with a guy from across the room, don't look away too quickly. Instead, ride the edge of locking eyes just a little too long, just a fraction of a second longer than you normally might have. Look away, and then look back again. That tells him that it wasn't a mistake, it wasn't an accident, and you're not avoiding his gaze. A really important flirting tip with the eyes. And getting your message across, number six, use the right words. What we're talking about here, of course, is flattery. Just make a compliment of some kind about something about him. Don't do it about appearance, although appearance will work. Make it more insightful, something that you noticed during the conversation about him. Oh, you seem like a really helpful person, or wow, you seem to really care about your mom. That's kind of rare in this day and age. Make an observation that means something to him. Tip number seven is, of course, flirting with your attitude. You got to have a wavelength of flirt underneath everything you're saying. Remember the emotional distance I was talking about earlier? You can hold a guy back a little bit by not being available for him all the time. Guys know the game of hard to get, but you know what? If played delicately and not too much as a game, it actually works. And you should be using it as well. Women can keep the mystery going for a while by not dropping their other priorities, everything they're doing in their life, just to see a guy. So make sure that you're keeping a certain amount of distance that tells him, you know what, I've got my own life and I'm not going to overwhelm you with my neediness. That's an important message to communicate. And bonus flirting tip 7.5 is flirting with your coworkers. Oh man, I'll admit that this is a very tricky one because a lot of people are divided over the issue of flirting in the workplace. On the one hand, you run that risk of doing something that might not be looked upon very well at your work, but the reality is that so many people meet at work these days, it's really one of the most opportune places to meet somebody. Plus the fact that who stays at a job very long anymore anyways. Basically, the tip I can give you is this. Apply everything I've told you here so far. Just tone it down a few levels, just to be on the safe side. All those tips on body language cues, making eye contact, wearing the right outfit, giving compliments, they'll also work on the guy at the office. However, you just need to use that bit of restraint to avoid the unwanted attention, right? We know how catty other women can be. Yes, I just made an imitation of a cat. Save the flirting for when other eyes, those prying eyes, aren't around. And plant the seeds at the office, but then take it outside the office to go where you want it to go. But after all the flirting is said and done, you got to be able to take that semi-serious flirting and make it serious. And by that I mean you got to be able to know how to take it to the next level. You got to know all the secrets to create irresistible desire in a man. And you need a blueprint to a guy's heart and soul. And you can quickly discover that and how to create that sense of intimacy in a very short period of time. The best part is that he won't have a clue that he's already falling for you when he finally does. So if you want to know how to create that kind of irresistible desire, well then by all means, go on over to my video presentation on irresistible desire. Go over to datingadviceguru.com. That's datingadviceguru.com/irresistible. Go on over now and watch the special video presentation on how to put him under your secret love spell. I'll be talking again soon. This is Carlos Cavallo from datingadviceguru.com. If you want all the rest of the tips from this article, go on over to datingadviceguru.com. I'll see you next time.